Good day, everyone. It is December 8th, 2008 on Graham Mondays, and you are watching Musecast. Well, first thing is first. Last week, somebody of the Musecasters was performing with the Liza impersonator in Las Vegas. Well, I got to see the real thing. They were giving out tickets at the Actors Equity Building, and so, as you know, one of the perks of being equity, I was able to get myself a ticket and a friend, and we went and saw her. And so this crazy old lady stood on stage for about an hour and a half and just served it to you raw. We think she's crazy, but she can hold her own. She knows how to tell a story, and she had my interest for the entire time. That and her four cool chorus men. Alright, also, don't be jealous of my glasses. My dad gave them to me. He's an optometrist. I don't know if I told you guys much about my family just yet, but I will soon because I just bought my tickets home to the UP. Yes, Travis, the UP. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I live in the very tippy top. It's surrounded by Lake Superior, so it's going to be really snowy, and I'm going to have all sorts of good footage to show you. I leave on the 16th and return back to New York City on January 3rd. I'm going to go home and take care of my mom, because she's had her surgery, and she feels like crap. So I'm going to make jokes or something. Speaking of which, my New York Comedy Club debut is Wednesday. So, next Monday, you'll have the full rundown of whether or not I succeed wildly or crash and burn in a fiery blaze of glory. Or, worst of all, somewhere in between. I want extremes. Extremes! Today, I worked on The Electric Company. That used to be a public television show. Well, they're bringing it back. And I worked as an extra again. Only this time, some interesting things happened. When I got on set, I realized I knew one of the principals. I had just done a show with her in September, and there she was, just, being one of the principals and speaking lines and being all famous. And I wasn't quite sure what to do. I wanted to be like, I love you, how are you doing? And all that. But she was clearly busy. So then I ended up sitting down with her and some of the other principals, and so I felt important, and that was nice. It was one of those situations where they used very few extras, and they treated us very nicely. And it was another example of me being cast as a high schooler. There's a lady who played a librarian, and she was directed to say shh in the middle of the scenes. Librarian shushing somebody. Well, when we got back to the holding, I was like, oh, so did they bump you up to an under fives role? An under fives role is when they give you one line, but under five, and they will bump you up in pay accordingly. And that's really nice to have on your resume because it means you can speak. They trusted you to speak on screen. Well, this lady, they didn't say anything to her. And I said, well, did they offer you an under five? And she said, you know what? I didn't ask them. And we turned around and spoke to the PA. And I was like, yeah, they gave her lines. Shh is a line. So she got a $200 bump thanks to me. Yay, I win. And look forward to many a white broadcast from the wild northern Michigan tundra. Until then, have a good one.